Hello and welcome to the Buy, Sell, Hold Spotlight presented by Sports Car Market Magazine. I'm Darin Roberge. Before we begin, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also, be sure to join in the conversation and share your thoughts by leaving us a comment below. Our guest today is Katelyn Conlon. She is the Chief Revenue Officer for Luxury Asset Capital. Welcome, Katelyn.
Thanks, Darin. Happy to be here.
For those who may not be familiar with you, why don't you give a little bit of background and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So I am currently the Chief Revenue Officer at Luxury Asset Capital. My background is in marketing and sales. I'm extremely passionate about working with clients and helping solve their problems or seize an opportunity. So our business model really aligns with what I love to do, and that's to work with collectors and people that own luxury assets.
So tell us what exactly is Luxury Asset Capital? What do you guys do over there?
Great question. So as the marketing side, I love to say our name says exactly what we do. We provide capital on luxury assets. So we're going to provide short-term loans anywhere between $2,500 all the way up to $5 million that we can fund in 1 to 2 business days using luxury assets as collateral. So the transactions are completely confidential, no credit checks, no financial disclosure, so we can move very quickly. A little about us in numbers. We have been in business for 85 years across our brands. We recently acquired Beverly Loan Company, which has been in business for over 85 years. We've loaned over $1 billion across our brands. We do have 3 locations. So we have a location in Beverly Hills, Denver, and New York City. So that's just a little about us, and look forward to the conversation of how we work with, owners of luxury vehicles.
Well, you do have things other than luxury vehicles too. I mean, Luxury Asset Capital is kind of the higher sort of the larger stuff, but you guys have other brands that are under the umbrella too. So what exactly are those brands and what do they do?
Definitely. So our Borrow brand is more of our fintech platform. So we are serving clients across all 50 states, and this is all done through an online platform. The clients come to us with an asset. We get photos, descriptions, and we provide an initial loan offer. We also, work with them on the terms. When they feel comfortable, we provide them with a fully paid and fully insured shipping label. Let's say they do have a vehicle or fine art, we will actually go to them, and we have partnered with luxury storage facilities all over. And so, nationwide, Borrow can help clients all over. We also have Beverly Loan Company and New York Loan Company, and there are more brick and mortar flagship locations. So clients can actually come into the office, work face-to-face, set up in-person appointments. We're doing the same thing. We're providing loans against luxury assets, but it's just really the difference is what the client feels most comfortable doing.
So are you guys technically a bank, or how are you classified?
So we are not a bank. We are classified as a collateral lender. So really the biggest difference is our speed, because we're solely focused on the value of the luxury asset. We don't need this deep level of personal documentations and disclosures that banks use. We make it pretty simple. We look at the asset, we see what it's going for on the secondary market. We have a team of specialists across our asset classes. And we say, here's what it's going for. We provide a loan to value to that, and we provide that loan offer. And because it is a collateral loan, we do take possession of the asset. So, security and storage is very important to us. Assets are in secure vaults or storage facilities for the duration of the loan. And then when the client pays back their loan, they get their asset back. So the biggest difference between us and a bank is just that speed. And, we're not running credit. There's no tax implications or anything like that. It's truly a non-recourse loan.
So what kind of collectors do you guys specifically cater to? Is there a certain group that you're looking for, a certain type of collector, or is it pretty open to anybody who is interested in luxury assets as a whole?
Yeah, great question. So really, if you own a luxury asset, we can help. We are looking at, if you're looking at vehicles, that the vehicle needs to be worth, more than $50,000 because of that minimum loan amount for vehicles of $25,000. For other assets, like I said, as long as they are the owner and we can find a value for that, we definitely want to help.
So, to the benefits of borrowing against your collectibles, your luxury assets, collector cars specifically, I'm kind of like thinking about two individual groups of people off the top of my head. Number one would be somebody who is maybe having some financial issues and wants to sort of unload some stuff quickly, but doesn't want to necessarily sell it. But number two, I think is maybe a little bit more unconventional, but I suspect you guys do a lot of this stuff. For example, somebody is a contractor and they have an opportunity to invest or purchase into a shopping center someplace or something along those lines, but they've got a garage full of collector cars that, again, they don't want to sell, but they need the money to be able to move that over and get into another business venture that's ultimately going to make them more money and appreciate faster. Is that the type of collector that you guys see more often, or kind of how does this stuff work usually?
Yeah, no, you're spot on. And really, we don't actually ask what they're using the money for or why. We're just really trying to help them quickly get those funds they need. So it's a wide variety, right? There's some people that come to us to seize an opportunity, as you shared, like, hey, I'm starting a business. I have 3 collector cars that are sitting in storage. Let's tap the equity while I'm not using them. Get those funds I need, start a business. We might have someone come with a tax bill. We might have someone come with a real estate transaction they're trying to work. And, prior to closing, they need to have some certain amount of funds in their account. So really, it's across the board. But to your point that you made, it's the biggest thing is they don't want to sell these assets, right? And they own them. So why not borrow against them? We have a very, very low default rate. It's less than 1%. So our clients are coming back, redeeming. And we're really proud because 3 out of our 4 transactions are with repeat clients. So they've come to us and learned this is very quick. It's very easy. It's discreet. So why not tap into those luxury assets they own to get the funds they need? Typically it's short term, and get on with what they need, pay back, and they get their assets back. So that no, not needing to sell the asset is big. Also, just the no credit check, and of course the speed.
Well, I would think there's some storage advantages to working with you guys as well. If you need to put a vehicle someplace, you can kind of do dual things at the same time. Is there a cost for storage, or is that rolled into the loan?
Absolutely. Great question. So we do partner with the best storage facilities around, and we partner with storage facilities as well. So, we are saying, hey, we can help you if you have a client that comes to you needing some capital. The storage fees, it really depends on the contract and where we're writing it. But typically there's an origination fee, and that can go towards that storage, the insurance that we would cover during the duration of the loan. And one other thing that's worth mentioning is we have various loan products. So we have a luxury line of credit, which is really unique in the industry. So a lot of clients that are keeping their car in storage anyways, or a lot of watch collectors, jewelry, designer handbags, if they have their assets with us in loan and they pay it off, instead of us sending their assets back to them or getting it back, we just continue to hold it. And what this allows them to do is really just to pick up the phone and say, hey, Katelyn, I want to draw from my line of credit. So very much like a home equity line of credit, it gives them immediate access to capital by using those luxury assets we already store. And then we also have a luxury inventory loan where, very similar thing is you're borrowing against the value of your luxury goods inventory. So we've really tried to make it flexible so we can provide that short-term option with our standard collateral loan, but also be that, line of credit and just partner with, luxury good inventory of like, hey, you're sitting on a lot of inventory, you need to make payroll or you want to expand your business, tap into those assets that are just maybe sitting in inventory.
Throughout your website, it's mentioned an LTV ratio. So what is that exactly, and how does that apply to collector cars?
Definitely. So that's our loan to value. It does change depending on the asset class. In regards to vehicles, we're typically at 50% LTV. So as I showed at the beginning, if we're seeing it on the secondary market at 200,000, then we're going to be about 50% of that. And that's another reason why we don't have a lot of defaults, right? We're working with people that seriously want to keep their assets, but want to just, be able to tap into that quickly, go handle their situation, and then get their asset back.
So what role do interest rates play? I mean, it depends on credit, I'm assuming, but are there variable rates? Is it a fixed rate? Like how do interest rates factor into this?
So our credit does not matter. So there's no credit check, right? So all we're solely focused on is the asset. So it is generally a sliding scale. So the more you borrow, the lower the rate. On average, our rates are between 3 and 4%. This is monthly. So, and that's why I like to be specific to say this is short term. And our average client, has their loan out for 3 to 6 months. And some people say, oh, that's expensive. I want it out for 2 years. And we're very much like, we're not the right fit for you. We're someone that needs the money quickly. They are, to your point, using it to go probably make another investment or do something that those funds are going to make them money. And they pay it back within 3 to 6 months.
So I imagine some interesting things walk through the door over there. Do you have a favorite experience, something that you've seen, or is there something like an asset that you've worked with that was especially interesting or that really captured your attention? Like, what's been your favorite moment so far of working there?
No, that's a great question. And I feel like every day there's something new and exciting. And it's funny because as when I started, I'm very just, Target's my favorite store. We'll start there, right? But as I've seen things come in, I'm a big sports fan. So any sort of like sports memorabilia is really exciting to me. Cars, it's funny now, just working with you guys and learning so much and being in the industry. Any car deal I'm very excited about because we just deal with beautiful, beautiful vehicles. We also think very outside the box. So, we've gone and we've done a loan on a parking space in Manhattan. So it's like, hey, there's a lot of people that want this. In the chance of default, how quickly can we sell it? And it would be easily done. So, there's not one specific instant. I just think that overall it's really exciting to help the client, right? So even if that is various handbags or jewelry, but I definitely would say that the sports stuff, just because I'm a big sports fan, and cars, just because they're beautiful, awesome. I'm now even like the sound of that engine gets me pretty excited.
Yeah, parking spot in Manhattan, certainly a luxury asset for sure. Not to be talked down on. That's a real deal thing, definitely. What is your favorite type of client? Like, was there a certain type of person or certain type of collector that walks in the door that gets you excited?
So as I mentioned at the beginning, that's really what I love about my job is we're helping people. I would say that one memory that pops up is just that client that really, really understands the industry, because a lot of times, it's hard because people are looking at what can I sell it for? And this is a loan, so we can't look at that. So I think it's just really nice to work with other people passionate about luxury assets. Like I said, 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, not really into it. And now it's just the more I've seen it, I'm very passionate about it. So I love working with those that are also passionate about it. At the same time, it also is really rewarding to work with a client that comes and is like, I've never heard of this. How does this work? Why would I trust you guys? And we're able to get them comfortable, share them the process, and be able to help them meet that financial deadline that they're on a tight timeline for. So, every day is different. I'll say that. And I just, at the end of the day, just really love helping people get that capital quickly.
So we've seen a fairly significant market shift in this space over the last couple of years with the new generation of incoming collectors. Do you have a strategy to kind of maybe address some of the things that they're passionate about, i.e. things like Air Jordans and stuff like that that's rapidly appreciating? And what do you see kind of as the future strategy moving forward in dealing with that group for LIC?
Yeah, no, great question. So, one great thing about our business is, we have these specialists across all of our asset classes. So we also have partners and auction houses that we're looking at. So to your point, as we see, watches, the secondary market over the last few years, it's starting to shift, but skyrocketed. So we have like very good pulse on the market, and that helps us because we are able to adjust to what we're seeing. So I think one thing about us is we're very open and we're very flexible. We're not like in a box. So, there's never a time that we're not going to look at an asset. Our goal is always to be able to help that client. We just have to make sure that asset makes sense. So I think it's really just continuing to leverage the auction houses and our partners and our expertise across our team, to see what is the, new what is the new Jordan, to your point, that's out? Or what is the watch that everyone wants on the secondary market so that they can go buy it, a new one? So again, it's really just keeping a close pulse on the market and tapping into those expertise we work so closely with.
Yeah, art toys is another one. Those things are appreciating like crazy, the cause toys and things of that nature. So you mentioned auctions. Say somebody has a vehicle that's in your possession that's currently in your program and they want to sell that vehicle. How does that work?
Yeah, so we would call that more of a sales advance loan. So we do have great relationships with all the auction houses and we can help them. As you know, there's some specific assets that won't go to auction for a certain amount of time. So we're able to work with them and say, hey, we can front X% of that amount that they're seeing that we could go at auction so that they can at least get some working capital. And then after the auction is over, then we obviously pay off the loan and then the client gets the difference there. So we definitely work closely with auction houses. You know, that's another big thing is we don't want clients to feel like they have to rush a sale, right? And that's another reason people come to us is maybe they are eventually going to sell the asset, but instead of rushing it, they're going to get the funds they need, properly get the asset to sale. Don't just get the first buyer. And then once they get that sale, get the loan out and, wipe their hands clean of the asset.
So are there any prepayment penalties involved with doing something like that? Or you can kind of pay, if you pay off early, it's not that big a deal, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we have no prepayment penalties. So it's very simple. It is a 30-day renewable contract. So, everyone is once they pay, it renews another month. We're never going to have, a prepayment penalty, or even if the client's like, listen, I have 5 watches in loan, I would love to redeem one of these out. We're not going to say, oh, you have to redeem the whole loan. So we do partial redemptions, no prepayments. And really, we just want our clients to get their assets back because that means they're going to come back to us again. So we work very hard with servicing our clients. And, like I said, at the end, all of us have the same goal for them to get their asset back.
Okay, Katelyn, you're out in the world doing stuff. Granted, it's a little different stuff than our guests tend to normally do, but equally as important, and certainly your data is appreciated here. Why don't you go ahead and give us one car to buy, one car to sell, and one car to hold in today's marketplace?
Awesome. So I would say I'm a very practical person. So I was looking more at vehicles that can be, driven daily. So my buy budget about $50,000 would be a 2011 BMW E90 M3 sedan, CP 6-speed. And I said this earlier, and it's from the events I've been, the best sounding engine ever made. So that would be the buy. My hold. This is all the rage right now, would be a Ford Mustang Shelby GT350, years 2016 to 2020. Ford knocked it out of the park there. And then sell would be the Audi RS3. So that's between 45,000 and 60,000, years 2017 to 2020. So, I'm an Audi lover, but I do think this newest version, and it's drastically improved. So the values have held strong over the past few years, and those would be mine.
We've seen some BMWs that have crossed the block lately that are not too much older than the one that you mentioned. Just knock it out of the park. So, it seems to me that is the car to buy right now, certainly. And as you mentioned, the GT350, that flat plane crank V8, they really got that right. What a cool car. If I'm buying a late model Shelby, that's the one I'm buying and keeping forever as well. So couldn't agree more. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts is just, I think that luxury asset collectors, car enthusiasts, when you have this great inventory and maybe you're not driving it all the time, look to tap that equity in it and contact Luxury Asset Capital. We do lend against various types of vehicles, luxury, exotic, collectible. And also you might own a luxury watch, fine art, jewelry, and we're here to help.
Where can people go to learn more?
Yeah, so come visit us at luxuryassetcapital.com. And that will show just our different brands. So if you are in the California area, you can get directed to Beverly Loan. If you're in New York, you could go to New York Loan. And then, like I said, borrow, we do service clients across all 50 states.
I would like to thank my guest, Katelyn Conlon, for joining us today. To learn more about anything that we discussed here, be sure to pick up the latest issue of Sports Car Market Magazine by visiting the link in the video description down below. As a reminder, if you enjoyed this content, please take a moment to like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay on top of future episodes. I'm Darin Roberge, and thank you for joining us on the Buy, Sell, Hold Spotlight.